Good evening, everybody, and happy Halloween Eve. Since technically it's the night before Halloween, I thought I'd take a look at the movie All Hallows Eve, which is technically Art the Clown's first feature-length film appearance. And for that, I wore my Terrifier shirt. Funny story, the night I went to see Terrifier 2's re-release last year, I wanted to like dye my shirt to make it look like it was like splattered with blood. So I so I mixed transmission fluid with some red food coloring and just lathered it on here. And then I was waiting for it to dry and everything, right? But then I had the idea of like, well, hey, if I put it in the dryer, then it will dry quicker. And, well, this was the result because my dumbass forgot that if reds get mixed with white, it turns pink in the dryer. So, apparently a lot of people at work liked it, though. So, there's that. But onto the film itself, moving away from the life story. So All Hallows Eve was the first feature-length appearance for Art the Clown, and this movie came out about 3 years before the first Terrifier. And for what it's worth, this film is great. Not great, it's pretty good. It's sort of an anthology movie, but there's only like 3 segments. The first one is the ninth circle, where Art kind of has a cameo at the very beginning, where he gives this girl flowers, but there's a bug in the flowers, and then he drugs her. And then from there, like, she wakes up in this, like, sort of sewer tunnel, I think, and she's trying to escape, but she gets captured by a cult, and then, like, this demon or the devil himself appears and starts to mate with her. And then the second segment, this alien shows up to abduct a woman, and Art sort of shows up at the very end of it, but like only because there's this painting of Art that somebody drew, and the painting doesn't really have any connection to the actual plot of that segment. The woman just talks about it at the beginning, and then just rips the towel off the canvas to reveal that it's Art the Clown. And then the final segment, which is the most like what the first 2 Terrifier movies were like, which I believe this was the actual short that was labeled Terrifier, is where like Art chases this one young woman, I think on Halloween night. And for what they were worth, the segments were pretty good. The alien one, I didn't really care for. The ninth circle was pretty cool, though, with just how kind of simple and basic Art's design looked, and I believe was his first ever appearance. Like, you can tell that that the costume was kind of like done from scratch. His costume looked pretty good in the actual Terrifier segment as well. In fact, like, you can see a lot of stuff that they did in that short that became the basis of the full movie. Like, it starts off at this gas station or diner or whatever, where Art is terrorizing a young woman there. He kills the employees of that establishment, and then he chases the woman throughout the night. Eventually, she gets picked up by this one guy who's just driving along. Art kills the guy, and then instead of killing the woman, he drugs her and like cuts off all her limbs and gives her a mastectomy, along with writing all these expletives on her body, which if my memory is correct, those exact words were also scrolled in Victoria's psychiatric cell at the end of Terrifier 2, when Art's head gets reborn. But I can't really say anything about the characters. I can't even remember their names. There is this framing narrative about this babysitter babysitting these two kids, and in the kids' candy bags is this videotape, which the videotape contains those 3 segments, and that's how we end up seeing the short films through the lens of the babysitter and the kids, right? And the kids do okay. Their acting is a bit meh, though. I will give them props, though, that the actress who played the babysitter, they brought her back to play Monica Brown, the talk show host, in both the first and second Terrifier films. The one whose face looks like the inside of Sienna's friend's cookie. But the movie was pretty good. It's one of my favorite anthology movies. I usually just if I ever find myself in the mood to see the movie, like I just fast forward through the Alien segment because it really has no overall impact on the film. And then I'll just watch the other 2 where Art actually has like a prominent role. But that's really it for this review. It was a great movie overall. Like it wasn't nearly as gory as like as the actual 2 Terrifier films. But there's still some disturbing images, especially the ending. I'm not gonna spoil what happens at the end, but it kind of connects back to the framing narrative in a really nice way. But yeah, All Hallows Eve is a great precursor to the Terrifier films. And with all that said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll be back for one last review. Bye.